Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday. It's Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, so if you guys have tomorrow off, congrats, and I hope you guys enjoy the longer extended weekend. Going to talk about really two things. Just look at the miners, see how they did this past week along with Bitcoin. We're going to also take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going up right now, so we'll take a look at what's causing that. And then there's also some concern about it, but we'll take a look at all the details. And we also have a story from, I think it's China, Hong Kong, about possible Bitcoin, well, good news possibly, but we'll get into it here as always. So, but always, you guys know this, not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research, invest in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. So let's take a look at Bitcoin right now, see what's going on there on the chart. It's had a really good day today, and then we'll get into the other stories. So Bitcoin was up nicely today. It ran up about 4.47% today. It's up $1,202 on the day, closed at 28,070. We bounced off of our, support line here, which was the 200 weekly moving average, the red line that you can see. We bounced off of this on Thursday, and we've continued to go up here in the last 4 days. Today might have been a bounce on the report that, the debt ceiling there might be some good news there that they're going to possibly work it out, and that we won't have to default on our, debt and everything else. So I think that's kind of what's driving it up right now. Nothing else in the news that I could see that would cause this to go up other than that potential news story on the debt ceiling. So that obviously helped things out today. We do have some other stories that might also help coming up here in June first, but we'll talk about those. But right now, it's based on the charts here. There are some concerning things. So right now, it's good that Bitcoin is up. It's up nicely today. But when we actually look at the RSI part of things, if we look at the 4-hour chart here, we can see that the RSI, there we go. Let's go back to that one. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why that's having a hiccup. Okay, 4-hour chart. Here we go. So you can see that the RSI is really high right now. It's about 82 on the RSI. Last time we were this high on the RSI was back, this was way back here. This was back on April 23rd, so about a month ago. RSI was about 86 at that point. 82 was right around here, but price at that point was at, 30,000 and change, 30,200, something like that. We are currently at 28,200, so definitely about 1,000 off from that right now. And the RSI is the same spot. If we go further enough back, I think it was back here. Oh, it was actually on the 1-hour chart. If we look at the 1-hour chart here also, we can see that the RSI right now is at 87, so definitely in the overbought territory. The good thing is on it, at least on the 1-hour chart, if you look at it here, if you follow this RSI chart and the price action up here, you can actually see that the price was staying pretty flat. Went down here a little bit here, but we had a huge drop in RSI, and then we continued to go back up. So that was good there. That was great. Great to see that. I love seeing that kind of thing. When we actually zoom out here far enough out, when we look at the last time we were this high on the RSI, we can see that there's two paths that we were at this high. So let me zoom this out a little bit here. So right around here, 89. This was back on April 23rd, right, when we had the other on the 4-hour chart. Price at that point was at a high here of approximately 30,000, you could say. It was 30,000. If we go far enough back onto this one over here, this was back on also, this was April 23rd. This one was when, this was also April 23rd in the 1-hour chart. Doesn't seem right. Oh, sorry. This was April 26th. This was April 10th back here. Okay, that makes more sense. We can see that the RSI was at the same spot. Price, however, was much higher at that point. It was approximately at 30,200. So same RSI, 30,200. Going a couple of days forward, price was only at 30,000. Going now almost a month out, price is lower, right? So we're seeing this kind of downward trend here on the price while the RSI keeps peaking to these levels here. So that is concerning for me. That's why I'm thinking we may potentially, by the looks of things, go back down, unfortunately, based on what I'm just seeing here right now, unless we have a huge major reversal in things where the RSI does actually go down, price goes flat for a while, and then we go back up higher. Maybe at that point we'll get a reversal on these types of things. But looking far enough out, it looks like we're trending downward still. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. Obviously, we're almost at the end of May here. We got June. We got some good June news possibly. We'll get into that story here in a second. That may help things go forward. But if that doesn't help, I'm still thinking that during the summer we might be coming back down and we might be testing this 200 weekly moving average, again, followed by our 200 daily moving average, which is at 25,000, which is also kind of like the support for the bears as well. That's kind of where the bears want to get down to, is about 25,000 or so. So that's kind of where I'm seeing things possibly might go down to, but we'll see, okay? So that's Bitcoin in a nutshell right now, what I'm seeing on it. Let's take a look at the Ethereum as well. Ethereum was up nicely today as well. It was up, if we zoom in here more, there we go. Today was up 4.29%, so it was up, it closed at 1,909. It's up a little bit now, right now, to 1,915. And if we look at the 4-hour chart here, we can see that we're also overbought here as well at 79. Last time we were this high was back here, and we were actually higher in the RSI, but price was also higher at that point. If we go far enough back, we're actually lower here. So we've got 2 points where the RSI was pretty high. Price was lower, higher, price is lower again. But if we look between these two parts, RSI is higher here. So this might be a one-off event where we are still trending in the upwards direction on Ethereum. If we look at the 1-hour chart, RSI is pretty high as well. It's 89 right now. Last time we were back here was right over here. This was May 5th, and price at that point was at 19.99. Prior to that, price over here was at 19.64. So we do have this kind of up and down again. So we'll see where things end up at. But right now, based on what I'm seeing with Bitcoin, I'm thinking we're possibly going to be heading down some more before everything is said and done, before we actually start our next phase of the leg up. Okay, so right now we're in kind of this middle territory where we might be bouncing between these daily averages and weekly averages until we get maybe closer to the end of summer, possibly, but we'll see. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, obviously the miners weren't operating today. They're not going to be operating tomorrow, so we'll just leave that as is. We'll take a look at the network hash rate really quick, see if there's any changes there as well. And on the 7-day average, we were back up to 365 million terahashes, and then on the 1-day average, we are back up to 394 million terahashes there. So we're still trading in this kind of wedge here, not a wedge, but this kind of middle point here between 290 million and somewhere around 398 million, so roughly around 400 million, and roughly between 345 million or so. So we're in this space. We're kind of been trading this way for quite a while here. We'll see if we can stay there. It'd be nice if we stayed there. Okay, so the only story that we do have here is from Forbes. So title of it is, it's a big deal. Crypto suddenly braced for a huge China earthquake after Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Polygon, and Solana price swing. And we had obviously a pretty huge price swing today based on what's happening in the United States. But here's the important parts of it here that I wanted to go over. So China Central Television just broadcasted crypto. CZ posted, so CZ is the CEO of Binance, on Twitter alongside a link to CCTV's website that showed a TV segment that featured a Bitcoin ATM in Hong Kong and a sign that said "Buy Bitcoin." So that's actually pretty interesting there. So CZ says it's a big deal. The Chinese-speaking communities are buzzing. Historically, coverages like these lead to bull runs. So we'll see if this is actually going to be the next catalyst that kind of pulls us forward or gets us above this kind of downward trend that we're seeing in Bitcoin. And if that happens, that will obviously reverse. We'll have a reversal in what I'm seeing as well. Hong Kong followed China in clamping down on Bitcoin and crypto trading platforms, but has recently adopted a new crypto licensing regime that will allow the trading of established cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum from June 1st. That's only a couple of days away. So this might be actually really good news if this does happen, and we do have licenses that get granted. So these new rules will require all trading platforms and exchanges to apply for a license or risk fines and jail terms. I'm thinking a lot of them are going to do it. There's a lot of people there in China. A significant majority of respondents agreed to our proposal to allow licensing trading platforms operators to serve retail investors. Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, SFC, said in a statement this week, so that's good. The SFC will implement a number of robust measures to protect these investors, including ensuring suitability in the onboarding process, good governance, enhanced token due diligence, admission criteria, and disclosure. So that is definitely interesting there. If that does play out, that would be a reversal to what I'm seeing, like I said before, and then that might actually prevent us from going down further towards the 25,000 mark. Okay, but we'll have to see what happens June 1st and going on after that. Okay, so that's it. Let me know what you guys think of this, if this is good news or not. And that's it for the stories that we do have here. Let's take a look at how Bitcoin did against the miners this past week. And here are the numbers that we do have. So these charts, as always, are the 52-week lows are the green, and then from 52-week highs are the reds. So as you can see here, Core is still up nicely from its 52-week lows, up 812%. Cypher up 525%. BitDigital up 422. DigiHost 390. Iris 240. Riot 236. Argo 227. Bitfarms 192. Marathon 187. 177 for TeraWolf. 152 for Hut. 143 for CleanSpark. 119 for Hive, 107 for Moss, and 106 for DMG. Bitcoin is only up 71%, and Sphere's up 32%. So everybody here has been doing pretty much better than Bitcoin has, except for Sphere 3D, unfortunately. But they've been having nothing but troubles here the past year and a half. Hopefully they can get those resolved here relatively quickly. Now, as far as being from the 52-week highs, you can see that BitDigital is getting pretty close to that mark where they would be in the plus side of things from 52 weeks ago, if things continue the way they are. We also have Bitcoin only being 17% away from its 52-week highs, so pretty close to that. If Bitcoin starts to rally, we might see an actual positive on this one as well. And then we got a couple companies that are pretty close to that. We got Cypher, DigiHost, Riot, CleanSpark, and then probably we would go into DMG and some of the other ones. You guys can take a look at those and see for yourselves. But here's how the miners compared to Bitcoin this past week. So I'm always looking at these from Friday to Friday, whereas Bitcoin, I think, is Sunday to Sunday, basically. But I do it Friday to Friday because that's when the miners are open as well, so that's kind of how we're doing it. Okay, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to do that because I would have to wait until, well, like right now to figure out all these numbers. So here's what we got. BitDigital was up 18.38% on the week. Core was up 5.35%. Hut 8 was up 3.14%. CleanSpark was up 0.24%. DMG was up, well, flat pretty much at 0%. Bitcoin was actually down 0.64%, so those companies did better than Bitcoin. The following companies did worse. Argo down 0.84%. Riot was down 1.44%. Bitfarms was down 2.6%. Marathon down 2.7%. Hive down 2.9%. Sphere down 3.1%. Boston down 3.2%, TeraWolf down 3.8%, Cypher down 5.5%, DigiHost down 6.75%, and Iris down 12.1%. Okay, so those are the guys that did worse than Bitcoin for the week. Now, if we look at the numbers for the 4 weeks, do that really quick as well. You can take a look at it here. Bitcoin is actually down 9.53% from 4 weeks ago. These companies did better than them. Iris, Hive, Riot, Bitfarms, Core, CleanSpark, Hut 8, Cypher, BitDigital. BitDigital is up number 1 here from 4 weeks ago. You guys can take a look at the numbers there. And then the following companies did worse. DMG, DigiHost, Marathon, Argo, Moss, and TeraWolf, and Sphere 3D being down the worst, down 28.57% on that one. Okay, and then going into here on the 8 weeks, do that as well. You can see here that Bitcoin is actually down only 4.32%. These companies did better. DigiHost, Cypher, Marathon, Core, Iris, Hut 8, Riot, Bitfarms, TeraWolf, CleanSpark, and BitDigital. Two notable ones that have done better so far are BitDigital and CleanSpark. CleanSpark being up 73% and Bitfarms 82%. And the companies that did worse are Hive, DMG, Moss, and Sphere 3D, and Argo. And you guys can see the numbers there for those as well. Argo being down 20% from 8 weeks ago. And finally, on the 12 weeks chart, let's take a look at that really quick as well. And we can see here that Bitcoin is only up 32%. And the following companies did better: DigiHost, Iris, Core, Bitfarms, Hut 8, Marathon, Cypher, CleanSpark, Riot, TeraWolf, and BitDigital. BitDigital being the most, up 177%, followed by TeraWolf, 158%. So anybody that bought 12 weeks ago on any of those companies, or anybody that was better than Bitcoin, has done pretty well so far. The only companies that did worse are Hive, Sphere 3D, DMG, Mawson, and Argo. Argo being again at the bottom here as well. So something interesting here that when you look at the, it was on the 1 week chart that I saw this. Let's see here. Yep, this is kind of interesting. You got basically only 1, 2, 3, 4 companies that have been in the green here for the past week, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and 12 weeks. And that's BitDigital, Core, Hut 8, and CleanSpark. They're the only ones that have been in the green so far on those time frames. Everybody else has been either in the red here partially in the last 4 weeks and even into 8 weeks ago. And then most have been up here for the last 12 weeks. Okay, so that's kind of interesting to take a look at that. And we can see our chart here with all the miners, see how they performed. You guys can take a look at this, see how everybody has performed. And Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that we had kind of a mixed week last week, some green, some red, but mostly red. Prior week to that, we were kind of also split a little bit more on the green side. And the week prior was red, then we had green, 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 and red, green, 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 green. So we are seeing more green here than we are red. That's a good thing. Like I said, we'll see where Bitcoin ends up at. But right now, it's anybody's guess where it goes. Okay, obviously June 1st is going to be interesting to see if Hong Kong, China, and all that gets implemented and people are able to trade on that. If that's a catalyst for Bitcoin going up, I'm going to be all happy for it. That's going to be great. It's going to be also better than it going down to 25,000 if that happens. So we'll see where it goes. Okay, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Bitcoin's going to go up to possibly, well, not new highs this time around, but at least not yet, not until we go after the halving event, but at least now will it go up to maybe 32, 33,000 from where we are right now, instead of going down to 25,000, okay? And we'll see what happens later on this week. I believe the NASDAQ is closed tomorrow for Memorial Day, so no trading on that. We probably will start getting some news maybe later on this week as well for the miners, and then obviously once we get into the June, we'll have miners starting report for May production as well. So that will be interesting to find out how they did in May, okay? That's it. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Spreadsheets available to my Patreon members as always. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. Thank you so much for watching. I'll give this to the YouTube members as well. They'll be out probably tonight or tomorrow, depending when I get done with this. Okay. So like I said, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.